Running up the score. Jerry.
He just sucks.
He's not good.
let's just put it out on the table. He's not a good quarterback.
Oh, way to join a team that already won a title.
You know, Ben is unique. These guys are unique. They're championship runs. I mean, this one's unique.
Let's hope some people still get thrown at and, get hit in baseball.
Keep it interesting,
right?
Yeah.
I can't take this guy serious right now.
I dare you to watch it and tweet us. Tell us, you know what? This is a hell of a sport.
Where's this been all my life?
The New York Jets you know what they need to do with their second round pick? They need to just start taking it and lighting it up on fire.
Where's that quarter? Let me look at that one more time.
This is Running Up the Score. And it starts now.
All right, it's time to run up the score. Running up the score with Jerry Napoleonello, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Brought to you by Yelphi Sports app. We are live on Zenolive and Periscope. We have a lot to get to today. We had another great week in the NFL. I know we usually have UFC fights on Saturdays. I didn't know it moved to Sundays and on a football field. 3 games with fights, 5 ejections on the day. It was crazy. We'll get into all of those. We'll talk contenders, pretenders in the NFL. What coaches' hot seats have turned into a full-blown forest fire. James Harden dropped 56 yesterday. LeBron James dropped 57 on Friday, but yet the Cavs are still struggling. Matt Duchene was finally traded, and we have a World Series champion since the last time I was here. The Houston Astros. Thanks for joining us today. We got a great show ahead of us. First, we're going to start off. We'll bring up the World Series. We'll talk about that quickly. Just because, I'm a week behind. Obviously, this is what happens. I'm only here once a week, which was one of the reasons why we had the podcast for all the sports for every day of the week. Obviously, the only one left to do this show is me. So that's not going to happen. For me to do all these different podcasts every day of the week, it's hard for me to do. I don't have enough time to do it. So I didn't get the chance. When we were in last Monday, we were talking about Game 5, previewing Game 6 and Game 7. Now, obviously, Game 7, I think, was Monday or Tuesday, so we missed that. And now I just kind of want to talk about it real quick. Houston Astros deserved that. They deserved that World Series. They were the better team. I kind of wish that the Yankees were able to get into the World Series. Obviously, they took the Astros to Game 7 as well. Obviously, the Astros winning that. And they end up moving on to the World Series and end up winning the World Series. I think the Yankees could have beat the Dodgers. And big news out of the Yankees camp now is that Masahiro Tanaka opted in for the next, I think, 2 or 3 years with the Yankees. So that's huge. Other Yankees news for all you video gamers, MLB The Show, they just named their cover athlete, and it's Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees hot rookie. So that's big for fans, younger fans, I guess you could say. So that's huge. But we're gonna move on from that. Big news with that was that Justin Verlander misses the parade, and I don't know how happy the Astros were about that. He missed the parade. He was marrying Kate Upton. So there's that. But, other than that, we're going to move on to the NFL. The NFL Week 9, we had another great week of football. It doesn't get any better than that. NFL celebrations. I want to get into that first. Because, as a Cowboys fan, I watched the Cowboy-Chiefs game, obviously, and Travis Kelce, who's been one of the bigger celebration guys, I guess you could say. He ended up coming up with this celebration where they were kind of in the sack racing. So that was cool. And some of these players have actually come up with some clever celebrations. I mean, I think so far my favorite celebration is the Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think Le'Veon Bell was in it as well. They played hide and go seek. That was cool. But every other thing, I mean, I saw a Star Wars one. I think the Bills did a Star Wars one on Thursday night. There's a bunch of them, and it's fun. This is where, this is what we wanted. They're not as crazy anymore, even when they weren't as crazy as they were for the last 5 years or so. Like when Chad Johnson and Terrell Owens, they weren't crazy. They weren't crazy with it. But I think now they're really but they still penalized players back then. Now they're just they're kind of really taking the back seat and watching these. I mean, they're great. They're not going over time. It's fun to watch. It's interesting. It's hilarious. And I'm happy that the NFL went lenient on that, and I'm glad they did. And I think it's going to help with, the younger fans as well. I just think overall it was a great move by the NFL. But now talking about, maybe immaturity. But first, Jameis Winston, there's a lot of talk about him being immature, obviously. But to be honest with you, now he's out for a while with a shoulder injury. Now, I'm going to get into that fight later on. But, there's a lot of immaturity when it comes to Jameis Winston, when it comes to Cam Newton. It's just, you're a quarterback of an NFL team. This is, you gotta really step it up. And it's not good at what they're doing. The way that they're handling their business, the way that they're handling themselves, they're not handling it in a mature way. Now, I've always been on, Cam Newton's back. Listen, what he did during the Super Bowl, I understood it. You just lost the biggest game of your career. Who wants to talk to the media? So I understand him walking off. Now, the other, a couple of weeks ago when he walked off during the press conference, that was idiotic because the question wasn't bad. So, I didn't understand why he walked off then. So, I'm with them on that. I'm with the people that are saying he's immature. I'm with them on that. And like I said, I've always been behind Cam Newton with everything. He's a very emotional type player, and that's kind of what you want to see in your players. But what he's doing, other than that, just now it's just time. It's kind of getting old. And now it's where it's all right, you're a quarterback of the NFL, of an NFL team. You have to really shaping yourself up. Cut the crap. And I have another thing with Cam Newton, and it has nothing to do with his maturity or not. But, it's just, it's mind-boggling, some of these players. But, so we had as I was saying before, we had the Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. The thing that made that one a bigger game, it was a big game overall. I think it was going to be one of the better games of the week. But it also adds to it that Tony Romo made his way back to Dallas. But this time he was doing it in the booth, calling the game. So, I end up getting into work around halftime. I'm watching the game. I finally get to listen to the game because at work we don't listen to the game. The TVs are on, but the volume's off. So we're watching the game. I'm watching the game now, and I'm able to listen to it because I'm up in an office away from the sports newsroom. And I hear this line that Tony Romo comes out with, and I knew right then and there it was going to start something. So, he basically is talking about Marcus Peters, the cornerback of the Kansas City Chiefs, and how he struggles to maybe get in on a tackle. And he goes on to say this.
I'm telling you, he's really good out there at the corner off coverage, but in tackling,
not his thing.
No, and he makes Deion Sanders look good at tackling sometimes.
See, Tony, I tried my best to take the high road, but I don't know the address to the high road. So I got to come at you, man. You 10 years as a starter, you're 2-4 in the playoffs. You ain't won nothing. I tried to bury the hatchet. Both of us work for CBS. I went and shook your hand and say, Tony, you're doing a great job this year. I thought that would be it. But nevertheless, you keep on shooting at me. Tony, what's going on, man? I got a gold jacket that I didn't buy. Dak says hi. And bye. Tony, leave me alone, man. I got a lot of ammunition, man. How many interceptions? 19 in 2012? Come on, man. You threw to everybody but me. Tony, come on, man. You know you never won the big one. So stop, man. Leave me alone. I tried to take the high road, but I don't know the address. All right.
So that's basically what Romo said, and then the backlash of Deion Sanders. Now, as a Cowboys fan, I've always loved Romo, and if you have followed the show, you know that I love Tony Romo. And I'm still not so high on Dak Prescott because I do love Tony Romo, and I think he's a better quarterback, and I think he would take this team to even higher places than Dak Prescott will. And what Deion Sanders says. Now, first of all, what Tony Romo said was correct. Deion Sanders, this is not the first time that he's heard that he's not a great tackler or he didn't want to tackle. I mean, it was in his Hall of Fame speech. He had to go back at the naysayers, he says. And I'll have that clip for you in a second. But come on now. Troy Aikman says something like that about Deion Sanders tackling. Deion Sanders has nothing to say. But because Romo, may not have won a Super Bowl, but the numbers that he put up and the stuff that Tony Romo did through his career, let's be serious. You got to respect him. You have to respect him. And what Deion Sanders did was not right. It was a little jab. It wasn't like he was, really killing Deion Sanders. He had one line. Come on. And he's talking about Marcus Peters. It's not like he's talking about some guy, Chidobe Awuzie or something like that, that guy that nobody even knows about. Marcus Peters is one of the top cornerbacks in the league, so it's not like he's really, disrespecting Deion Sanders. So now I have the clip here from the Hall of Fame speech of Deion Sanders, and this is what he had to talk about with the tackling.
Many of my naysayers said, Prime didn't tackle. I say, well, show me some film where he didn't, or where he hurt his team. But I want to respond to that publicly because that affects me. It bothers me. It's insinuating that I'm soft, and I got kids. Since 1989, I've tackled every bill my mama has ever given me. Hadn't missed one. The next time they say Prime didn't tackle, make sure you let them know, yes, he did.
So the fact that he had to turn that into I tackled every bill of my mother's just shows you that that you weren't a great tackler. So let's be serious. All right, so what Romo said maybe wasn't right in a way, but it wasn't terrible to do what Deion Sanders did. So, I just didn't agree with it. And a lot of other things I didn't agree with this week. Cincinnati-Jacksonville game. 23-7. Jacksonville wins this game. But that wasn't really the storyline of this game. The storyline of this game was A.J. Green basically putting Jalen Ramsey in a headlock and throwing punches. So my thing is, what is wrong with some of these football players? And I can't, the amount of times that I've talked about this, and anybody that I've done the show with, whether it be Tom Gallippani or whether it be Kevin Donlin or even my girlfriend Nicole Conklin, we've talked about this over and over again. What is with these players throwing punches at helmets? Do they know that the helmets are for protection? If you throw a punch, you're going to hurt yourself. So, what A.J. Green did was wrong. Jalen Ramsey, all he did, A.J. Green kind of shoved him quick. Then Jalen Ramsey returned the favor. It just so happened that Jalen Ramsey put A.J. Green on the ground. Then A.J. Green throws a headlock in him, throws punches, this and that. The fact that Jalen Ramsey was thrown out of this game with A.J. Green is just ridiculous. Jalen Ramsey didn't do anything. You'll see the clip. He didn't do anything. This was all A.J. Green. So the fact that A.J. Green and Jalen Ramsey got thrown out of the game is ridiculous. And A.J. Green should be suspended. He should be suspended. Now going on to the next thing. Now I was talking about Jameis Winston being immature. Now, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. New Orleans wins this one 30-10. Again, this is another game that the storyline wasn't the win by the New Orleans Saints. The storyline was the fight that broke out because of Jameis Winston. Now, what happened was there was a nasty hit on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Meanwhile, Jameis Winston's already out of the game. He's on the sideline. Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of takes a hard hit. So it has nothing to do with Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore is walking up the sideline, and Jameis Winston starts to point, and then all of a sudden, just being that sarcastic, being that, that wise ass, he takes his pointer finger and puts it on the back of Marshawn Lattimore's head, and then Marshawn Lattimore shoves Jameis Winston, and then Mike Evans comes out of nowhere and blindsides Marshawn Lattimore. First of all, I would say that Jameis Winston should be suspended. He's hurt. He's going to miss weeks. It really doesn't matter. But he should definitely be fined for starting this. That's one. That was an immature move. That was a stupid move by Jameis Winston. Second, Mike Evans, thank God he got suspended, because what he did was reckless, it was stupid, it was immature, and it just started something that should never been started, even though Jameis Winston actually really started it. Altogether, these two games, there was stupid moves by stupid people, by stupid players that turned into something very stupid. Listen, I don't mind the fights going on, during a play, two guys, going at it, whatever. But the fact that Jameis Winston's on the sideline and he points and touches Marshawn Lattimore when he should never touch them, that shouldn't happen. And the same thing goes with A.J. Green and Jalen Ramsey. What is A.J. Green thinking? What do you think? That was stupid. And he should be suspended. And then another thing, I mean, this doesn't really, I wouldn't say, this should, this isn't really stupid. But another fight broke out in the San Francisco-Arizona game. It was a hard hit on C.J. Beathard. So I understand that fight. See, that fight means something. It was a dirty hit. It was a dirty hit, actually, because he was sliding and he was hit while sliding. So it was a dirty hit. So I understand that fight. But altogether, 3 games with 3 fights, 5 ejections. It was crazy this weekend. It was fun. It was crazy. Some of the stuff was stupid. So, the Rams and the Giants, might as well go into some other of these games. Giants and Rams. Yikes, the Giants are embarrassing. And, not even on the field. They're embarrassing in the press conferences. And it starts with Ben McAdoo. I don't know what Ben McAdoo thinks he's trying to, play off here. It's like he's trying to play off the tough guy, smart-ass type, Bill Belichick type stuff, but it's not working for him. And you can tell in this press conference that he tried to come up with some smart-ass remark, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him, and this is I mean, it's an 8-second clip here. It was the most idiotic thing I heard. It goes on to, Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Green, Jameis Winston. It was just idiotic. It just adds to the idiotic list of what happened this week. It adds to Deion Sanders. It adds to A.J. Green, Jalen Ramsey. It adds to Cam Newton, and you'll hear what I mean by that. And it adds to, Jameis Winston. So here's Ben McAdoo trying to be a tough guy, and it just does not work for him.
Say them at halftime.
Okay, so now being that there was really nothing said, so I'm going to kind of give you what happened. All right, so now the reporter asks, "What did you say to the team at halftime?" And you could tell with Ben McAdoo that the wheels are turning in his head. The wheels are turning. I just got blown out 51-17. My team sucks. I'm 1-7, 1-8, whatever it is. It's not going to get better from here. Eli Manning's on his last leg. My offensive line sucks. My defense, what was supposed to be great, turns to being the worst. My wide receivers are all gone. Sterling Shepard finally came back, but all my good wide receivers are gone. I got no running game. And I'm trying to come up with some smart-ass remark here to come off as a tough guy, as to be a funny guy, as to be, I'm tough. I'm going to come up with some stupid-ass remark and, whatever. It doesn't work. Nothing came from the brain to the mouth. He just went mum. There was nothing to come out of his mouth here. And Ben McAdoo just turned out to be an idiot. An idiot. It wasn't funny. It wasn't tough. You're about to get fired. Sucks to suck. Atlanta, Carolina. Atlanta, Super Bowl slump is not even the word. This is big. Atlanta goes and plays Dallas next week, so this is going to be a good game between the two. We'll get into that when we talk about the picks and predictions. But, this kind of half and halves the headlines of this game. That it's the Super Bowl slump. Atlanta's just not as good as they were. But the other headline of this is Cam Newton showing his immaturity. Not only in his press conference, and I'll play that clip here, but what about what he did on the 4th and inches? Ron Rivera calls for the punt. He stays on the field, and he starts screaming, jumping up and down like a little kid that he didn't want. And I understand the fire in, some of these athletes that, it's 4th and inches. If we can't get this, our team sucks. I understand that. But you have to listen to your head coach. Let your head coach take the blame for for something that goes wrong there. And we already know that Ron Rivera is not a great, head coach. So just let him take the blame. Stop looking like an idiot, Cam Newton. Adding to that list of the idiot of the week. Just stop. Now, we go to the press conference here. So I hope, I don't know anybody that hasn't seen this movie in the Titanic. Obviously, it's a true story. The Titanic goes down, sinks, hits an iceberg, sinks, and is still under the water. Okay? So Devin Funchess goes out, gets hurt in this game. Cam Newton is asked about losing Devin Funchess, and this is what he has to say.
Yeah, we just lost a great player, but nevertheless, the Titanic still has to go.
So I don't know if he saw a different version of the Titanic, if he has something different in the history books, but the Titanic sinks. So is that what's going to happen to the Carolina Panthers? Are they going to sink? Is that what he's saying? But, it just, come on. You can't be more of an idiot than that. So, idiots of the week. AJ Green, Jameis Winston, Ben McAdoo, Cam Newton. All together. So, moving on. Denver against Philadelphia, 51-23. Eagles still haven't impressed me. This Denver team is not a good team. Brock Osweiler just, he couldn't even hit, the water if he jumped out of a boat. I blanked on that one. I wanted to say something witty. But, it just... Brock Osweiler's bad. I even said it when, everything happened earlier. When we were talking about, different things about, Osweiler and, Peyton Manning leaving and all that stuff. So that was, I was ahead of the curve on that one. Seattle's domination days are over. They're over. They've come to an end. They can't even beat somebody at home when they were basically unbeatable the last 2 years. Last 5 or 6 years at home. Now they're picking up losses at home. And how about the Dallas Cowboys? 28-17 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Tamba Ali, the premier end rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs, says the Cowboys are the best team in the league. Best team in the league. So what's all this talk about the Eagles? Oh, and the Chiefs beat the Eagles. Oh, okay. I am so excited to watch the Cowboys play the Eagles in 2 weeks. I am so excited for that game. Because it's a week that the Eagles are actually going to play a good team. They're not playing good teams. Why is everybody picking this team to go to the Super Bowl? Yes, Carson Wentz is a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback. But the rest of the team is okay. Can we stop putting them in the Super Bowl until they play a good team? 2 weeks, they play a good team. We'll see what they are. Hey, doesn't it get annoying when you're watching sports? Say you want to send a text to a friend, tweet something out about a game, or check your fantasy team, or hey, maybe you want to go to the game, or even set up a tailgate party, or you have to go to all these different apps, websites, etc. to do all of that. What if you could just go to one place for all of this? I'm here to tell you there is a place like that, and it's the L5 Sports app. You can get detailed, real-time scores, stats, news, rumors, fantasy news, team and player comparisons, built-in social network feature which is integrated with Twitter and Facebook, create private one-to-one group or group chat with your friends, buy and sell tickets, host a tailgate party or even a pickup game. One sports app for all your sports information. Make sure you go download Yell-Fi Sports app at the iTunes App Store. Yell-Fi, the only sports app that you need.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
From modern rock to old school hip hop,
Country to classical.
news, talk, sports, and more.
It's the noise you can't ignore.
Log on to allnoiseradio.com.
Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks.
Get the latest CSB news and more.
Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio.
Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com.
Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Hey, this is Jerry Napoleonello, host of Running Up the Score. We are live once every week at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we hit on all the top headlines in the world of sports. You can also find us on Stitcher, iTunes, and those of you that like the visual aspect, check us out on YouTube. Running Up the Score. We run up the score on Sports Radio.
Cyberstation USA is the future of radio. Get your business into the online future at the world's largest internet radio station. From banner placement on our homepage to any of our broadcaster stations, commercials on our video player, audio spots on any of our shows, or at the beginning of any of our on-demand broadcasts. Cyberstation USA offers competitive rates with a worldwide reach. A fully integrated one-stop-shop social media broadcast platform. For more information, please contact our sales department at Cameo at cyberstationusa.com.
Follow the NFL this season on Running Up the Score.
Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know.
Now back to Running Up the Score. Here's Jerry.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
What a World Series this was. We are excited to say that this went 7 games, and it was everything we would have hoped for. And the Houston Astros are champs, and we'll definitely get into that. We'll also get into a lot of NBA talk, but first, call in at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. You can follow and tweet us at RUTS Sports, as well as follow us on Instagram at RUTS Sports. Check out our website, www.rutsports.weebly.com. Let's get into the World Series real quick, and I spoke about this earlier. Houston wins this game and wins this series in 7. They're a team that's going to be dangerous from years to come. So you're not going to be you're going to be seeing Houston a lot in the coming years, so be ready for that. But we're gonna move on to some NBA talk because we spoke about the World Series earlier. The NBA, the struggles of the Warriors and the Cavs. Has it opened up the NBA for somebody else? And I think it has. The Cavs are just not as good as they were. LeBron has to score 57 to even get a W. So, I think it just opens up, especially in the East. I think it opens up, for the Boston Celtics, who are on an 8-game winning streak. I'm excited to see what the Celtics can do, especially, for the rest of the season, because they're missing Gordon Hayward now. Gordon Hayward's out for the season with that broken leg. And I actually saw a video of him working out. He's working out now. It's crazy. But, like I was saying, I think the Cavs, are just, they're struggling mightily, and I think they just can't get it going. And I think it's just really going to open it up for the rest of the East. And the Warriors, I'm not worried about the Warriors. The Warriors are going to be there. I mean, let's be serious. They're going to be there. The Cavs are going to have trouble getting there. Do I think they're going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes. But do I think that they're going to, easily get into the championship? I don't know about that. I really don't. James Harden scored 56 on Sunday, one shy of the franchise record for points. Carmelo Anthony was ejected on an N1 play, something I don't think I've ever seen before, and I don't think anybody's ever seen before, which was weird. It was just funny because he was the one getting the N1. So they called the foul on, I think it was Jokic or whatever, one of them. And they turned it around and turned it on Carmelo, gave him a flagrant 2, kicked him out of the game. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I really don't. So the Thunder weren't happy about it. But, on Friday, the Thunder played the Boston Celtics. And, The Celtics were down big in this game. OKC had the lead all game long until about 6 or 7 minutes left in the game. Celtics came back, took the lead, I think in the last 2 minutes or so, whatever. So the Celtics were up, I think it was 85-81. And, there was talks of all last year about, the Thunder triple-double hunting for Russell Westbrook. And the way that they would do it would be on the free throw. And the other two, the two, the 5 and the 4 would block out or box out their player, and Russell Westbrook would come in and get the rebound. So they visibly tried to do this. They were down 85-81, I believe it was. There was, I think, less than a minute left. Kyrie was at the line. He misses the free throw. They do the same exact thing, and Kyrie gets the rebound and puts it up. It was a 4-point play for him because it was an N1 play. It ended up turning out to be a 4-point play for Kyrie Irving, and it put them up even more. Celtics end up winning. So I think it's time that the Thunder actually worry about winning games than worry about Russell Westbrook getting a triple-double. I'm sorry. As much as you want to see that, it's over. He broke the record. Let's get back to basketball. Come on. So there's that. How about in NHL news, Matt Duchene was traded finally. And it wasn't to the Islanders, which I'm kind of upset about. But, what are you going to do? He was traded in a three-team trade to Ottawa, and I believe Turris went to Nashville, I want to say, or Turris went to Ottawa. Well, it was something like that. So there's that. And, before we get into the picks and the predictions, I kind of wanted to talk about it, and it happened during the World Series. I don't know if it happened like Game 3 or it was in Houston. So it had to have happened in Game 3, Game 4, Game 5. And this was my question. I wanted to ask it last week. Didn't have the chance. We got so into everything else, especially college football. But I wanted to talk about this, and this is a question, and it goes to all you fans out there of your teams. So what happened was the ball was hit. I think it was the game. It might have been Game 5. It might have been Game 5 because Yusel Puig hit the home run. So Yusel Puig hits a home run. It lands right in the first row in left field. Some woman has the ball. She's got her hand up, got the ball, whatever. She's a Houston Astros fan. So her husband or boyfriend or whatever, he's next to her. They're hugging each other. They're all excited. And I've heard that it's her friend, like their friend or just a regular stranger, also an Astros fan, is visibly upset, grabs the ball out of this woman's hand and throws it on the field. So I'm telling you right now, you go to a game, what's your chances of getting a foul ball, a home run ball, a ball thrown to you? What's the chances of that? It's like 1 in a million. So the fact that she caught the ball, and I know it's a Dodger hitting the ball. I know it's in the World Series. But that's a big deal. You just caught a World Series home run ball. That's a big deal. So I don't know if I would be upset. I want to know what you guys think. Would you be upset if the ball was thrown, that it was, say you're an Astros fan, you caught the ball from a Dodger home run. Are you happy to keep the ball? Are you happy that he took the ball away? Or were you happy? Did you want to throw the ball back? I want to hear what everybody else thinks. Then I also want to hear, what is the craziest thing you've done as a fan of your team? What is the craziest thing you've done? So we got about 15 minutes left, I guess, of the show. So if you have the chance, give us a call. I want to hear what you have to say. If not, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, if you're listening on, if you're watching it on Periscope, whatever it is, I want to see, obviously right now I don't have the Periscope up, so I don't see anybody's comments. If anybody is commenting on it, I'll try to bring it up right now. It's just I've been having a lot of connection issues in here, and nobody's listening. So we don't have to worry about that. So how about anybody on iTunes? If you're listening on iTunes on our podcast, if you're listening on Zenolive, if you're watching on YouTube, whatever it is, wherever you're listening, send us a tweet, send us a Facebook message, send us an Instagram comment, whatever it is. Send us something. I want to hear what you have to say about it. What is the craziest thing you've done as a fan of your team? I can't even think about the craziest thing I've done. I got a bunch, pet peeves. I guess, I got some. I'm a very, very superstitious fan. Very superstitious. I'm a Cowboys fan through and through. I'm a Yankees fan through and through. Islanders fan, Lakers fan. And before you tell me that I'm a front runner, just shut up. If you know me, you know the reasoning. If you don't know me, I don't give a crap to tell you of the reason I am the fans of those teams. But the fact that, I mean, there's a bunch of things. Especially, I'm more superstitious with the Cowboys. So, I'll try to wear the same T-shirt, the same jersey, same pants. I'll try to wear the same underwear. Washed. Relax, washed. Socks. Try to sit in the same spot. Whatever it is. There's just different things. I mean, there was a point in time where I think it was the 13-3 year. I was watching the same video every game right before the game, and I had to watch it. And if I didn't watch it, I felt like they were going to lose. So I had to watch it. So there's that. There's just a bunch of things. I put a hole through a wall, because of the Cowboys. Just a whole bunch of things. So I want to hear what your craziest thing you did as a fan of your team. Let me know what team you're a fan of. And I want to hear what you had to do. So we're going to get on to some more important things, and that is...
It's time for Running Up the Score picks and predictions for Week 10.
All right. Picks and predictions for Week 10. We're running down the end of the show here. It's time for the picks and predictions. We're going to start off with the Thursday night football game. Seattle Seahawks 5-3 at the Arizona Cardinals 4-4. Seattle has been coming back down to earth these last 2 years or so. Seattle is a place where they were basically unbeatable. It isn't as daunting for visitors anymore, but they are away in this one at Arizona. But I can't pick Drew Stanton to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks win this one. Green Bay Packers 4-3, Chicago Bears 3-5. Green Bay, I think, is starting to find their form without Aaron Rodgers. This will not be a blowout like I would have picked if A-Rod was under center, but Green Bay will win this one. Cleveland 0-8. Detroit Lions 3-4. Detroit just has too much for Cleveland to handle. Lions win this one. Pittsburgh Steelers 6-2 at the Indianapolis Colts 3-6. Colts with an impressive win over Houston, but let's be serious. No Watson, no problem. They are going up against arguably the best or second best AFC team, so I'm going with Steelers here. Los Angeles Chargers 3-5 at Jacksonville Jaguars 5-3. The Jaguars are that fence team where they have a lot of talent. They pull out impressive wins and then drop an egg the next game. I think at home they can pull off an impressive win over the Chargers. New Orleans stayed 6-2 at the Buffalo Bills 5-3. Here's two teams that have surprised many this year. I think this will be a great game. Buffalo is always tough to play. Buffalo is always a tough place to play. And it's starting to get a little colder. I feel that we'll play into this game a little bit, but the Saints always are a juggernaut on offense. And the factor here is that they're playing great on defense, especially the rookie Marshawn Lattimore. Saints win this game in a close one. New York Jets 4-5. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-6. Tampa Bay will be without Jameis Winston, but the crazy thing is how lucky the Jets have been getting with their matchups. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Jets win this one away. So we're going to move on to the next game here. Let me pull it up here. Minnesota Vikings 6-2 at the Washington Redskins 4-4. Minnesota on defense is unbelievable, but QB is the question mark. Redskins with a big win on Sunday against the Seahawks. I think they ride it into a home victory over the Vikings. Cincinnati Bengals 3-5 at Tennessee Titans 5-3. AJ Green may miss this one, which he should because of that fight. If that's the case, I'm definitely going with the Titans in this one. Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Rams 5-3 at 6-2. Rams are a legit team this year. No Watson, no bueno. For Houston, Rams win this one. Dallas Cowboys 5-3 at Atlanta Falcons 4-4. This is a tough game for Dallas. As bad as Atlanta has been playing, this will be a close one. It all comes down to how the Cowboys defense plays against the Falcons offense, because no matter what, the Cowboys will be able to do whatever they want on offense. This is a tough game to pick. I think the Cowboys pick this one up, pull it out, and grit it out. Cowboys win. New York Giants 1-7 at San Francisco 49ers 0-9. Jeez, it doesn't get any worse than this. I'm going to say the 49ers pick up their first win this week after I really flopped on that last one last week. I thought they would pick up the win in that one. Sunday Night Football. New England Patriots 6-2 at the Denver Broncos 3-5. This should have been a good game. And it would have been a great game if Denver was any good, but that's not right. This will be an absolute blowout. Pats win. Monday Night Football. Miami Dolphins 4-4 at the Carolina Panthers 6-3. Boring. Dolphins couldn't capitalize against Oakland Sunday night on multiple occasions. Carolina had a big win against Atlanta. I think they picked this one up and win it at home. So that is the picks of the week. So I got Carolina, New England, San Francisco, Dallas, Rams, Tennessee, Washington, Seattle, Green Bay, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, New Orleans, and the Jets. Those are all my picks of the week. And you know what? We used to do lock of the week. We used to do upset of the week. I'll give you one here and there. The upset of the week, I'm going to go with the Jets. The lock of the week, I used to have imaging for this, and I'm kind of upset I don't have it anymore. I think I'm going to bring it back for the rest of the season, upset and lock of the weeks. My lock of the week is the New England Patriots. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. I didn't even have to think about it. I didn't even have it written down. I know my locks. I know my upset. It's just too easy to pick here. I mean, the New England Patriots should kill the Denver Broncos. They should kill the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos gave up 51 points to the Philadelphia Eagles. It just kills me right now that the Dallas Cowboys were massacred by this Denver Broncos team. The fact that they were massacred by Trevor Siemian, it literally makes my skin crawl. It pisses me off so much. I didn't give you a fantasy lineup this week. I apologize for that. How about George St. Pierre coming back after, 3 or 4 years off? Picking up the W against Michael Bisping in the third round of with a submission in the Garden. That was exciting to see. But other than that, I think that will do it. Josh Gordon makes his way back. He will meet with the team, I think, this week. And he could play possibly this week, maybe next week. Who knows? But the question of the day, before I get out of here, what is the craziest thing you have done as a fan of a team? I want to hear it. Tweet me at RUTS Sports. Check out our Facebook page. Actually, like our Facebook page and then comment on it. I want to see what you have to say. And then YouTube, you could comment on YouTube. You could comment on Instagram. Check us out. Subscribe to everything. But that will do it for Running Up the Score. I hope you enjoyed sticking with just me today. I know it sucks just seeing my face and not maybe Trent's face or Kevin Donlan's face or Tom Galopani. I wish I could get Tom in here. Hopefully soon. That'd be nice. It's funny. I've been wanting to get Tom, Kevin, and myself in the studio for so long. I mean, it's been so long. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I wish I could. But that will do it for Running Up the Score. Thank you to our sponsor, Yellfy Sports app. You can download the app from the iTunes App Store by searching Yellfy. It's spelled YELLFY. Make sure to follow me at Jerry RUTS Sports, Tom at Tom RUTS Sports, and Kevin at Kevin RUTS Sports. We'll shoot you a follow back. It's a great app. That will do it. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back next Monday talking sports once again. As I said, that will do it. I am Jerry. There's nobody else. Be breezy. Be breezy.
And it is all over!
You've been listening to Running Up the Score.
We run up the score on Sports Radio.